So I've been getting some pretty good responses recently about my last couple of drawing time-lapse videos and also some of the designs that I've been bringing out on Instagram and Twitter. So I thought I'd show you a bit of a how-to video so you could see some of the process of how I get to a finished final piece. Now the drawing that I'll be doing is of a fox. More of an Arctic fox than one of those orange vermin that you find running the streets of London. Now the video is sped up because otherwise you'd be sitting here for about half an hour watching me draw, and I'll be doing a bit of voiceover so you can sort of understand why I've drawn it in a certain way. So yeah, let's begin, shall we? So to begin with, I'll start to draw a basic outline shape of the face so I know what sort of boundaries I have to work within, and next I'll then measure out where the middle is so I can then add a few extra details like where the nose needs to be, where the mouth is, where I need to position the eyes, or sort of simple things like, you know, how big the ears need to be, you know, sort of things like that. And it's round about here I realised I don't have enough blue tack behind my drawing, so I add a little bit extra in just to keep it that secure, and then I carry on with it. Now, what I then start to do is I then start to draw one side of the face. Now the reason for that is that once I have that one side of the face drawn, and I then start to draw the second half of the face, I know what it needs to look like, and I know how the final piece needs to look as well. So I'm just adding a few more details here into the drawing, just so that I know more sort of how the shape of the fur falls off the body as well, just so it gives me more of an idea of how the finished piece needs to look. Now also, like humans, all animals aren't flat, you know, we're a 3D object, which is what I try to do with the lines within the face. I try to sort of show you where the contour lines are on the face, because, you know, there's small things that you have to take into consideration, like how we have bags underneath our eyes, or if I was smiling, how the cheeks move like that. So it's just small little things here that I do just to show you sort of where certain parts are more 3D than others. And it's the same really with the fur, because obviously fur isn't flat as well. There's a lot of motion to it. It's very like motionful, right? Wait, is that a word? Motionful? Fuck it, I'm making it a word. It's very motionful. You know, there's a lot of movement to it. It sort of flows off of its chest like a wave. You know, it's very playful. It's a very motionful thing. It's a word, trust me. So next, what I then do is I'm doing the difficult part here, where obviously I'm trying to make it as symmetrical as I possibly can. Now this is why I mentioned earlier that I draw one side of the face. Now the reasoning for that is obviously that now I'm drawing this other half, I can basically copy it. So I know where certain lines need to be, and it just helps me really, especially when I'm drawing geometric shapes and sort of things like that. Now what I'll also do is, if at the end of the drawing I don't feel it's as symmetrical as I hope it would be, then I'll bring it into Illustrator and I'll start to make a few adjustments there, you know, just to give it a more cleaner, a more fresher look, more professional feel to it really. And if I want to add a bit of colour as well, then I can then bring it into Photoshop and it can then be its final piece of how I expect it to look. So I'm just making a last few adjustments here, and then obviously with all drawings you've got to add a bit of ink. So that's what I'm going to do now, and I'll just let that play out so you can see the final and finished piece. Alright, well thanks for watching guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please let me know by making sure to hit that like button. If you want to follow me on any forms of social media like Twitter and Instagram, the links are down below in the description. And if you are new around here, make sure to subscribe. But until then,